How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Steins Linear Bounded Phenogram. And in the last episode, Lukaku has began to do his time leaping in order to get back to August 15th, the day that Mayuri is slated to die in this world line. Wow, what a depressing intro. I don't think any of these intros are going to be all that hype, to be honest. This is honestly just going to be a really sad route. But yeah, that's Lukaku's goal, just to try to get back to the 15th. Spend the day with Mayuri, cosplay, what have you. It's basically what we saw out of, or I guess didn't see out of Steins when we were doing Lukaku's route then. Because she, they, whatever their gender may be, went back to do this, but Okabe didn't see any of that, obviously. And that's what all this is. We convinced Kirisu in order to let us time leap back to, the 16th? But we will need, one more time leap in order to get to the morning of the 15th. Oh, and Okabe is, there. He's in a depressed state right now. When we enter the lab, Makase-san sees Okabe-san staring into space, repeatedly apologizing. She casts a sad gaze on him.
Okabe. ごめん、時間がなかったのよね。それじゃあこっちに来て。はい。本当は人体にどういう影響を与えるのかまだわからないから、なるべくは使いたくないんだけど。
Makase-san speaks as she quickly preps things.
でも、Mayuriの夢を叶えるためだもんね。Makase-さん。漆原さん、私からもお願い。Mayuriにいい夢見せてあげて。
When she turns around to look at me, her eyes are filled with tears.
それから16日に飛んだら迷わず私に連絡して。多分2日前の岡部は今以上に参ってると思うから。
That's right. When I get to the 16th, I'm gonna have even less time to waste.
僕、分かったような気がします。分かったって何が？岡部さんが牧瀬さんを助手に選んだわけです。助手か。助手だって言うなら肝心な時にもっと頼ってくれてもいいじゃない。牧瀬さん？ごめん、なんでもないわ。それよりこっちは準備 OK よ。そっちは？はい、僕も大丈夫です。
I straighten my body and place my hands over the gear on my head. Thinking about the pain I'm about to experience makes me nervous, but now's not the time for complaints.
それじゃあ、行くわよ。はい。
Makase-san's finger pushes the enter key. The phone wave starts to move, and suddenly electricity is bouncing around the room. My vision goes white. And then... well, here we go. Which means we do have exactly one more time leap to do. And we really are pressed for time, holy shit. Once again, my brain feels like it's being stabbed by countless pins. But eventually that pain fades. Well, we're, I guess, near a familiar area. Compared to the last time, this leap wasn't nearly as bad. Maybe I'm just used to it. I'm in a back alley somewhere in Akihabara. For a moment I question why I'm here, but soon remember that on this particular day... I was headed to the Future Gadget Laboratory in the evening. Oh, perfect. If I don't turn back into a guy, Mayuri-chan will die. At this point, Okabe-san had already explained the situation to me. I remember it being unbelievable at the time. I had a feeling that Mayuri-chan would be at the lab, so I was headed there. I did end up going, but from the outside I could tell that there were no lights on, and I left without going in. I left without realizing that Okabe-san was actually inside the whole time. After leaving the area, I recall just wanting to talk to someone, so I visited Ferris-san's cafe. But she wasn't in either. Nobody was around. I ended up going home and sitting by myself. I remember being filled with self-hatred at the time, wondering what I was even doing. But now, thanks to that, I can get to the lab quickly. Thank you, me of the past. I've never said that. I've never said that. Like, I'm always screwing over my future self. I immediately start to dial Makase-san's number with the cell phone in my hand. Once, twice. I eagerly wait for her to answer. But no matter how many times I call, I'm met with the dial tone. Makase-san didn't pick up. She might be ignoring the call since it's from an unknown number. If I could at least get through to her voicemail, I could tell her about the situation. Makase-san's the only one I can turn to. I only have 15 minutes before the clock strikes 8. I can't afford to just sit here. I immediately head for the laboratory. I don't know, maybe something could work out here with Okabe. I call his name out as I rush through the door. Okabe-san might be willing to hear me out. I cling to this tiny thread of hope. Okabe-san. But reality can be a harsh mistress. Oh, there he is. Jesus. He's still just fucked. Just like when I saw him a few days into the future, Okabe-san is blankly staring into space. The only difference is that he doesn't physically look nearly as bad off. I have to do something, anything. I cling to him and beg for him to listen. Okabe-san, onegai desu. Kiite kudasai. Boku, kako ni modoritaiんです. 過去に戻ってまゆりちゃんに会いたいんです。だからまゆり He responded. そうです。僕まゆりちゃんの願いを叶えるために過去に行きたいんです。まゆりだから岡部さんの助けが必要なんです。まゆりすまない。 Mayuri. Okabe-san. Yeah, I don't think he's listening. After that, no matter how many times I called out to him, he just responded in the same exact way. It's almost 8 p.m. I'm not going to be able to time leap within the day at this rate. The next time the machine can be activated will be around noon tomorrow. 2 days from then would be around noon on the 15th. Mayuri-chan, she'd still be alive. But even if I go back to that time, everyone will be at Kamima, and I wouldn't be able to activate the machine. And then once the evening comes, nobody is going to be in any condition to think about anything else. I'll end up having to wait until noon on the 16th, and by that time, Okabe-san will be just like this. If I can't get in touch with Makase-san, I won't be able to make Mayuri-chan's wish come true. All this will have been for nothing. It'll just keep looping endlessly. Okabe-san said it too, that he thought that if he could go back in time, he could fix anything, but reality isn't that simple. One cannot rebel against fate. If that's the case, will I forever be incapable of granting Mayuri-chan's tiny, innocent wish? That's just... Huh? At that very moment, I sense movement outside of the room. A person? Who is it? Wait. I suddenly remember. It was when Okabe-san was telling me about how he tried to save Mayuri-chan over and over again. Everything had began when several armed men raided the lab. Those were his words. So wait, are the people outside? What should I do? If they're armed, considering the state that Okabe-san's in, he won't be able to defend himself. But it's not like I can do much for him either. These men could come charging in at any moment. But maybe this is for the best. Maybe this is our way of atoning. Huh? It's faint, but I can just barely make out the sounds of someone heading back down the stairs. If the person outside isn't one of the bad guys, then it's...
Makise-san! ごめんなさい。驚かしてしまって。いえ。まあ、確かに驚いたけど、でも気にするほどのことじゃないから、そんなにかしこまらないで。
Yeah, I don't think the Rounders do attack in this world line. I think that's like totally avoidable. I knew it. It's Makise-san.
でも、どうして私だってわかったの？それは、さっきもマキセさん、岡部さんのこと心配してたみたいだから、もしかしてって思って。そっか。
Makise-san whispers to herself, a sad expression on her face.
そう。心配だったのよ。岡部のこと。だって、あんなことになって、あいつが答えてないはずないもの。
Even as she's talking, Makise-san is sadly looking at Okabe-san sit mindlessly against the couch.
それに、私も、一人でいるの、辛かったから。マキセさん。でも、意外ね。あ、ごめんなさい。ほら、漆原さんだってまゆりと、親しかったでしょ？あなたのことだから、きっと、ずっと泣いてるんじゃないかって思ったから。僕は、もちろん悲しいですけど、皆さんよりも時間が経ってるっていうか。
I noticed the clock hanging on the wall. It's already 8:05.
時間？待って、そういえばあなた変なこと言ってたわね。さっきもって、まるでついさっき私と会ったみたいな。マキセさん、お願いがあるんです。僕を過去へ飛ばせてください。過去って、もしかしてタイムリープマシーンのこと？はい。ダメよ、あれはまだ。僕なら大丈夫です。さっきもちゃんと成功しましたから。さっきもって、それじゃあ、あなた、やっぱり。
This is frustrating. I explained this exact scenario to Makise-san just a little while ago, and yet here I am having to do it again. The time we shared together remains with me, but it doesn't exist for her. I suddenly feel detached from the world. It's so lonely here. So very lonely. I feel like I'm the only one left. I never knew it'd feel this lonely to not share time with another. And Okabe-san has gone through this multiple times in order to save Mayuri-chan. He's existed in this lonely world by himself, quietly struggling against fate.
漆原さん。うろたえるのは後。今は落ち着いて詳しい話を聞かせてもらえるかしら。大事な話なんでしょ？はい。実は。
I nod and begin to explain the situation to Makise-san. Perhaps because I've already explained it once before, things go quite smoothly by my standards. She asks a few questions, but soon appears to grasp the situation.
そう。岡部がしたことや、あなたの考えにいろいろ言いたいことはあるけど、残念ながら、今はそれを言ってる時間はないみたいね。
I glance at the clock. It's already 8:10. All because I was dragging my feet.
ほら、落ち込むのも後。 まゆりの願いを叶えてあげるんでしょ。だったら今やることは一つでしょ。はい。でもまずいわね。時間的にはそろそろ。
Uh-oh.
おお、なえ、わざわざ迎えに来てくれたのか。
I can hear owner's son and his daughter talking outside.
やっぱり。漆原さん、あなたもう2回タイムリープマシンを使ってるのよね。はい。でも使ったって言っても、僕はあのヘッドホンみたいなのを頭につけただけで、あとは。そう、あとは数字を入れてあのパソコンのエンターキーを押すだけ。セッティングは私がするから、それが終わるまであなたはブラウン店長が店じまいするのを引き止めて。僕がですか？他に誰がいるの？でも。
Owner's son's giant physique alone is enough to make me tremble in fear. Oh,
セッ
don't
ティング
worry,
が終わ
same
ったら
here.
私が変わるから。そしたらあなたはここへ戻って一人で昨日の朝へ飛ぶのよ。できるわよね？大丈夫。キーを一つ押せばいいだけよ。
By myself. But
まゆりの願いを叶えたいんでしょ？わかりました。僕やります。うん。それじゃあ頼んだわよ。
Makase-san says firmly before heading to the computer. Empowered by her words, I exit the lab. Oh, I'm sure this will work lovely. I descend the stairs and make my way to the front of the building, where owner's son had just come out to close up the shop. I'm just in time. But it's still way too early to be relieved. Prompted by my voice, owner's son turns around, his hand still on the shutter.
ジョーちゃんは。
At my eye level are giant pectorals and arms as large as barrels. Just that alone is enough to make me fall to my knees. How am I supposed to even stop him?
確か岡部んとこの。なんか用かい？
Huh? His voice is unexpectedly gentle.
どうした？用があって声かけたんじゃねえのかい？
はい。
And then, his transparent blue eyes. I've never seen them up close before, but they look so much more kind than I had ever expected.
もしかしてあのジョーちゃんのことかい？
I immediately know who he's referring to.
まゆりちゃんですか？
ああ、確かそんな名前だったな。あの子は気の毒なことをしたな。
Why? There's this sadness to his voice. It's almost as if he's crying.
お父さん、まゆりお姉ちゃんがどうかしたの？
And before either of us had realized it, his daughter is poking her head out from inside of the shop.
ああ、いや、なんでもないんだ。それよりお父さん、今お話中だから、苗はもうちょっとの間、中でテレビでも見てなさい。
はーい。
The little girl named Nai obediently goes back into the shop. I can see her from here, watching anime in front of the large CRT TV in the back.
かわいいお子さんですね。
まあね。って、こういう時、普通は謙遜するもんなんだろうけどな。実際、目に入れても痛くねえほど可愛いと思ってる。
いえ、お父さんなら当然だと思います。
そう言ってくれると助かるぜ。
His blushing face is just as kind-looking as I suspected.
あいつには。ナイにはあのジョーちゃんのことは言ってねえんだ。あいつは 懐いてたからな、椎名真由里に。
店長さん、
岡部はどうしてる？
ずっと沈み込んでいます。
そうか。まあ無理もねえやな。人が死んじまうのは悲しいことだからな。
Tennoji-san seems to recall something from his past as he says this, almost as if he's thinking of someone.
だけど、それもあの嬢ちゃんの運命ってやつだったのかもしれねえな。
Fate. If something truly can't be changed, then perhaps it really is fate. But if we have no way of pushing back against predetermined events, why are we even alive? Why?
漆原さん、
Just as I begin to drown in my own inescapable cyclone of thoughts, Makase-san's voice drags me right out.
待たせたわね。それじゃあもうね、あとはさっき言ったみたいにしてもらえれば OK よ。できるわね。はい、僕やります。
おいおい、おめえら一体何の話をしてるんだ？
すみません、少しお時間いただいてもよろしいですか？実はブラウン管のことで。
Yeah, that'll take his attention away. While Makase-san draws owner-san's attention away from me, I head back to the lab. I immediately head straight into the development room and up to the phone wave. Okabe-san's still just as expressionless as before. Everything we've done has been invisible to him. My legs almost start shaking as I think about leaping to the past by myself. But Makase-san has bought me this time, and I have to do this. I place the headphones on and take a deep breath. I bring my trembling finger close to the old-looking computer. My finger comes down on the enter key. Well, I think we did it right. I mean, if not, we're going somewhere else. Nope, looks like we did it exactly right. A big yeehaw. I don't think I'll ever get used to this horrific pain. I check my surroundings and discover that I'm in bed. I was probably half asleep when I answered the phone, considering the upper part of my body is outside of my blanket. I check my cell phone to confirm the time. It's 5:30 in the morning of the 15th. Come on, game. The morning of the 15th. If that's true, then Mayuri-chan is still alive. Perhaps because I was asleep until a moment ago, my head feels heavy. Mayuri-chan had mentioned that she planned on meeting up with Ashida-san the morning of Kamima. She never specified the time, but she did say it'd be tough because it would be earlier than she gets up for school, which means worst case scenario, they're already at the venue. I hurriedly throw some clothes on and rush out of my room.
Oh yeah.
Dad's already brooming the floor of the shrine.
お父さん、おはようございます。
Good morning,
お
Pops.
はよう。どうしたんだい？こんな早くにどこかへ行くのかい？
はい。小見間というところに。
何？小見間だって？
はい。
小見間か。気をつけなさい。あそこは戦場だからね。
Yeah, it's like he's got experience. What the fuck?
お父さん。
He has that underhanded knowledge.
どうかしたかい？
Could it be that he's...
それより大丈夫かい？時間。急いでいたんじゃないのかい？
そうだった。それじゃあ、行ってきます。
行ってらっしゃい。暑さ対策はしっかりするんだよ。
Dad seemed strangely familiar with Kamima. Yeah, this is like the most we've ever learned about Lukaku's father. That is really weird. Has he gone before? I would like to make that assumption. I climb up the flight of stairs for the nth time in the last few hours and stop in front of the door. I can sense somebody inside. I hear a voice. A girl's voice. So warm and soft. So beautiful. A girl's voice. This voice belongs to... This voice belongs to...
あれルカちゃんだ
I'd never mistake it.
ルカちゃんルッテル
まゆりちゃん
It's really...
まゆりちゃん
そうです、マユシーなのですへへへ今日はコミマだからね早起きさんなんだよ
Mayuri-chan.
ルカちゃんこそどうしたのこんなに朝早くに
Mayuri-chan, 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 Mayuri-chan. It's really her. She's moving, speaking, and smiling. There's no doubt about it. Mayuri-chan is alive.
まゆりちゃん
I can't help but hug her tightly. I'm scared that she might disappear if I didn't. But
ルカちゃん
まゆりちゃん
she's right here. She's so warm.
どうしたのルカちゃん泣いてるのもしかしてまたオカリンにひどいこと言われた
Why did she default to that?
だったら大丈夫だよマユシーがきつーく叱っておいてあげるから
違うそうじゃないの
違うのだったらどうして泣いてるの
それは
ふいコンビニの冷凍ドリンクもうちょっとで売り切れるところだったのだぜまったくコミマがあるんだから余分に用意しておくもんだろジョーコふおー朝からゆり展開きたこれ
Well, nice to know that Daru is his normal self.
ほらダルそこで突っ立ってたら邪魔だ早く中に
Why is Okabe looking all depressed? Unless, like, he's already, like, expecting what's to come, and he's kind of, like, he's accepted it at this point.
あ、二人とも僕たちのことは気にせずにさっさどうぞ続きをあれどうしたみんなもしかして僕空気読めてない
Well, something like that.
それじゃあオカリンがひどいこと言ったんじゃないの
Yeah, not this time. Alright, we will save the episode here, and next time, I think we're going to Kamima. Spend the time with Mayuri before she, you know, bites the bullet, or have a heart attack, or whatever happens to her here. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I remember she had like a heart attack in a couple of the world lines where, you know, the rounders weren't showing up, or we weren't trying to escape them, or whatever. Did we ever think about, like, what could happen if, like, an hour before her time to die or whatever, we just, like, hook her up to a bunch of stuff at a hospital and, like, keep an eye on her? And, like, if she has a heart attack and all that, just, like, see what happens? Like, I know that she's going to die. There's, like, probably no helping it. Like, her body's just gonna, you know, that's it. But I don't know. I'm just curious. It's like a false hope, but I was just kind of curious. But anyways, thank you all for watching this episode. 'Twas a good one, I would say. We had some had a nice little conversation there with Mr. Braun. I like that one. Kind of bringing up a little bit of stuff I was thinking about, I think, back when I was first recording Steins Gate, about fate. Pretty interesting stuff. But yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz, and I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy.